ABC 10 News at 5 starts right now.
Hospital workers feeling overwhelmed again as COVID cases across San Diego County surge. The challenges local hospitals are now facing. Plus, new data suggests the Johnson & Johnson vaccine works against the highly contagious Delta variant. We go in depth and break down what it means for breakthrough infections.
And the San Diego Symphony's new outdoor music destination debuts tonight. We'll take you to the public opening of the Shell.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
Local hospitals are stretched thin as the number of people in San Diego County being admitted for COVID is going up. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Lindsay Pena. That surge is being driven by the highly contagious Delta variant. As ABC 10 News reporter Adam Rakusin shows us, some healthcare providers say they're now facing staffing challenges.
When you look at this graphic, it's not hard to see which direction the line is headed. Up. The chart shows the number of COVID-19 hospitalized patients in California. Closer to home, data from San Diego County also shows an increase in the number of COVID patients needing the hospital.
Here we are again, and we're going up.
Dr. Ghazala Sharif is the chief medical officer of acute care at Scripps Health. When the state reopened in June, Scripps hospitals had about 13 COVID patients. On Friday, that number was 127, with 23 people in the ICU. While the numbers increase, staffing's become a challenge.
Staffing is tight. It's not only that we're seeing COVID patients, we're actually seeing other volume through our emergency departments, and hospitalizations are increasing.
ABC 10 News heard from several healthcare organizations that say local hospitals are facing staffing challenges for a variety of reasons related to COVID.
So people are tired. So there's a fatigue, people are getting sick, and people have scheduled some well-deserved time off. So people are picking up extra shifts to help.
We're not just seeing these large-scale orders of ICU, medical, surgical, and telemetry and PCU. We're seeing across the hospital high orders for pretty much every unit that we staff.
Crystal Fugé is the vice president of recruitment at San Diego-based Aya Healthcare, the nation's largest travel nursing company. They've also seen their fair share of challenges.
People are ready to find balance between the two, both work and their family, which not a lot of people were awarded that opportunity in the beginning of the pandemic.
Fugé says the company is pushing forward different ideas and technology to create a sustainable workforce, one that meets the needs of clinicians and their partners, but also can offer a life balance. Adam Rakusin, ABC 10 News.
Scripps says it's exploring the same strategies they used during the winter surge, which could include working with the state on alternative staffing models such as team nursing. They've also launched several different programs to help reduce stress and motivate staff.
And now to the latest numbers on coronavirus in San Diego County. Almost 1,500 new cases were reported today. That's the highest single daily total since February. And there were 4 new deaths. Across the U.S., cases are surging. 100,000 new cases in a single day were reported twice this week. And health officials say 7 states with relatively low vaccination rates are responsible for about half of them. But some good news on the vaccine front. White House officials say half of the total U.S. population is now fully vaccinated, with the country seeing a rise in vaccinations for the last month. In the coming weeks, the FDA is expected to recommend a plan for vaccine booster shots for those who are immunocompromised.
A new large-scale study found the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is effective against severe cases of the Delta variant. We're taking an in-depth look. The trial in South Africa involved nearly 480,000 healthcare workers between February and May. The J&J shot proved to be 71% effective against hospitalization and 96% effective against death. The vice president of Sharp Healthcare's System Pharmacy Services, Suzanne Shea, said the numbers aren't surprising.
My reaction was one of, yes, of course, because we have seen the vaccines work.
That study also looked at overall breakthrough cases. 96% of cases were mild, 3% were moderate, and less than 0.5% resulted in severe disease or death. The head of the study says the data proves a booster shot isn't necessary yet, something Shea largely agrees with.
So there is a possibility there is a small group of patients who would need an additional vaccine, but those are very specialized patients and it's a very small group.
This news comes after a study last month found the J&J vaccine produced relatively low levels of antibodies against Delta compared to the original strain. J&J said that analysis had examined only one aspect of protection and didn't consider long-lasting responses from the shot. The Delta variant now accounts for 93% of new COVID cases nationwide. And you can follow any developments surrounding the pandemic by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News.
A SWAT team is still trying to get a man to come out of a home after he reportedly threatened family members with a machete. This has been going on since about 9 a.m. at 48th Street in Choyes View. ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo is monitoring the situation. Laura, what is the update from there?
Well, Kimberly, still no update from police, but within the last couple of minutes, we have seen a number of officers. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see there is still a heavy police presence of officers. They have been gathering there for a moment. At one point, we did see a stretcher, but so far, no update from police. There is no one on that stretcher at the moment. Now, right now, we are off of Duval and Hilltop, and police have actually been out here since about 9 this morning when family members called police concerned that a relative was having mental health problems and threatening them with a machete. Now, those family members were safely evacuated from the home, and we have seen them out here, but their loved one hasn't cooperated and come out of the house. Now, the SWAT team has been out here negotiating, but again, we are seeing a number of officers as we come out here live. There are some SWAT members in tactical gear kind of going back to their patrol cars. So again, we are still waiting an update from San Diego police, but as of right now, we have not been told whether or not this person is cooperating, but we do know they have been negotiating with him for hours. We will stay here and bring you the very latest information. Reporting live from Choyes View, Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
Laura, thank you. An emotional day in court as the family of a woman murdered while working at a local adult bookstore confronted her killer. Today, Sean Ward learned that he'll spend the rest of his life in prison without parole. The sentence was part of a deal he made to avoid the death penalty after pleading guilty to murdering Diane Spagnuolo in October of 2018. Ward stabbed her to death while trying to rob the adult bookstore where she worked in the Midway district. Her family is still haunted by the memory.
Never is there a time that I am thinking about my sister that you don't creep into my thoughts. I resent that, I truly do. You not only took her life, but you tainted my memories of her.
Ward's mother was also in court. She asked the judge if she could give her son one last hug before he went to prison. Prosecutors argued that's not fair to the victim's family, but the judge did allow it.
More now on that disturbing body camera video from the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. It shows a deputy accidentally overdosing on fentanyl during a call. I spoke with the undersheriff today about exactly how something like this happens and what changes they've made to protect their staff. A dramatic video released from the San Diego County Sheriff's Department as a public safety warning about the opioid fentanyl.
I'm Deputy David Five-Eye, and I almost died of fentanyl overdose.
The body cam footage showing that deputy's partner administering naloxone or Narcan to reverse the effects of the overdose. The graphic footage raised questions about exactly how something like this could happen.
The thought is he either ingested it, he inhaled it, somehow some of the powder got into the air that through movement or motion while he was testing it, or perhaps dermally through his skin.
Under Sheriff Kelly Martinez spoke to ABC 10 News Friday about the incident. She says the deputy was wearing gloves during the call.
You can see him taking one of the gloves off when he collapses. He was done testing it, he thought, because it came back positive for fentanyl, and then that's when he went down.
According to a guide created by the American College of Medical Toxicology, for opioid toxicity to occur, quote, the drug must enter the blood and brain from the environment. Toxicity cannot occur from simply being in proximity to the drug. While it's still unclear exactly what happened in this case, the Sheriff's Department says it illustrates just how dangerous the drug is. As for what to look for, it's most commonly found in pill or powder form.
It's a white powder in some of the forms. It looks similar to what cocaine or would have looked like for a lot of people who recognize what cocaine looks like. The blue pills, typically it's a small blue pill.
Martinez says the department has changed its testing procedures, requires the use of protective equipment, and
we always have someone else present when we're testing the drug. As you saw in the video, there was another deputy present. He had the presence of mind to have the naloxone handy and ready to go.
And the Sheriff's Department also says they don't use canines to detect fentanyl because of how toxic it can be.
And today marks the 6th straight day of traveling nightmares for Spirit Airlines customers as cancellations continue. Today alone, flights have been canceled from LAX to more than 12 destinations. According to the San Diego International Airport website, there are no current cancellations or delays for Spirit flights, but that could change.
There will still be cancellations over the next few days, but we can start to build back to a full operation and then build from the takeaways that we get from this last week.
If you already have a ticket for your upcoming trip, Spirit Airlines is urging passengers to check their emails for flight status. Spirit also advises the fastest way to get help is through their website. Registered voters across California can expect to receive a sample ballot any day now for the recall election of Governor Gavin Newsom. The San Diego County Registrar's Office started to mail them out this week. In the election, voters will respond to just 2 questions. First, whether or not Newsom should be removed from office, and second, which candidate should succeed him if he is recalled. All registered voters will receive a mail-in ballot. In-person voting will also be available. The recall election is scheduled for September 14th. Happening tonight, the San Diego Symphony is starting a new era with the opening of the Shell along San Diego Bay.
It was delayed for 13 months due to the pandemic. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is joining us live from there. And Mimi, there is a lot of excitement ahead of tonight's opening.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the first permanent outdoor venue for the San Diego Symphony. So this is a huge deal for everyone here. You can see the crews gearing up right now, setting things up before the audience members start to fill all of these seats around 7:30 tonight. The opening was delayed, as you two mentioned, a year because of the pandemic, but they're just so happy to finally be here.
We are so excited. Once we really got started in earnest, we just kept going through regulatory process. We got that through. We thought that was the hard part, and then we broke ground, and then COVID, and that slowed things and postponed things. And so I think it's even more meaningful today. And there is not a bad seat in this house, from sight lines or sound, for sure.
So the venue is designed to host more than 100 concerts and events year-round, offering a 360-degree view of the marina, the bay, and downtown. And the audience is provided with surround sound, and the acoustics in the Shell are said to be some of the best in the country. So this project has been in the making for nearly 2 decades, and it was originally slated to open in July of 2020, but the pandemic did delay that. As far as vaccinations and negative COVID-19 tests for audience members go, they're not required here at the Rady Shell. So everyone is encouraged to wear a mask, but it's not required. It is only required for unvaccinated people when they're using indoor spaces like restrooms. So when the concert venue here, if we come back out live and show you this, when it's not in use, this grassy area where these seats are is open to the public as a park. We're live from the Rady Shell. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Looks like it will be magical there later on this evening. Thank you, Mimi.